So it all started as a 14-year-old apprentice carpenter, led to sort of running 23 guys in multiple states, working for tier 1 builders, and moved from being all things to all people in domestic, and then into commercial, and then industrial. And working in multiple states was a challenge. I ended up getting a helicopter pilot's license to try and be everywhere at once. It worked for a while, and it was fun years. But ultimately it was a fast track to burnout. The business ran as a conventional builder and commercial builder for that period, and the business went backwards for the first time. And it made me really think about, how can I improve the systems and processes and bring everything inside 4 walls? And that was when modular really, started to strike a chord with me. And in 2017, we built our first modular home, which was a container home. And it was recognised at the Australian Construction Awards in 2019 in 2 categories. That started the journey where I needed to get everything inside 4 walls in a factory, controllable environment, 32 jobs within walking distance of my desk. That led me to 2 years of real intense developing the business plan, developing the IP, international trips, looking at different technologies in Australia and abroad. The greatest evolution of modern methods of construction is volumetric modular building. So we take a building and we chop it into segments, and we design it in a way that we can advance those modules as far as possible. So you look at, prefabricating one component, we're prefabricating the whole building. And the goal is that we get to past 90% in the factory. And then when you get to site, that's the last 10%. So this process and methodology is the greatest evolution that we can adopt. And it systemizes things, it controls the process, it makes it scalable and more efficient and smarter. And that's ultimately what modern methods of construction is. There's a lot of innovation that we've adopted within the factory. We have a 8-station moving production line. So station 1 is structural steel, and we do the structural steel superstructure, which will include the chassis, and will include the lifting columns and the top lift. So I think top lift is important, because that sort of sorts out the men from the boys and protects cladding and everything during the rigging. And it also means when you put together multiple modules, that the rigging isn't getting in the way. So it's little things like that speed up the process, make it more efficient, and we're designing for transport and lift from day one. We've got laser projection. So up at the top on 16 meters, we can upload the plans straight from the in-house architect, and they can shoot from laser projection straight onto the floor to calibrated targets. So this is technology that's come straight from the Boeing factory, so aerospace. Once the roofs go on in the factory and we can't use laser projection from on top anymore, then we're looking at implementing LiDAR and artificial reality headsets. So we build a 3D model, but it'll have, okay, there's the tower rail, there's the toilet, there's the door in these lines that you can follow. And it is accurate to within 2 millimeters. And it's the future of what can be done in a controlled environment, and making things smarter and faster and easier to follow. So we've got 2 25-ton synchronized gantry cranes. So we bring the cranes together and we hover over the top and we set them up and we hook on. Gantry cranes, pick it up, move it across, and then drop it down to the next station. So another innovation that we do within station 1, we can offer light gauge steel floors, or we can offer precast floors. And precast floors are unlocking a lot of potential projects for us. It's a big innovation that we're the only modular manufacturer that I'm aware of that can offer the precast in the level that we do. And also we can offer a slab on ground option. So when people come in and say, oh, I thought you couldn't do slab on ground in modular. Well, we can. It's just a different way to deliver the building. A modular building, once it's delivered and in position, shouldn't scream modular. And I think that's what's going to break the negativity and the bad stigma around modular building, is really making them look nice and high-end, and not an inferior product, but a higher quality, actual better product that looks exactly the same, if not better. Another innovation that we have within the facility, I talked about the cranes earlier, but we're also the highest factory in the Southern Hemisphere, which means we can stack 3-story modules on top of each other underneath our cranes. And why I'm getting so excited about that is because we can eliminate all the problems all the clashes, all the issues that would potentially be on site when they're out in the public's eye and everyone's judging modern methods of construction and what it can achieve and what it can do. And a hotel's getting stacked in position over 48 hours. We know it works because we've done it. We've given it a dry run. We've developed a connection that's actually patent pending at the moment. It's a connection that is a module to module, and it works vertically and horizontally. It's self-locating and it's reversible. So it means that we can have speed on the day. This sort of innovation is what's going to move the needle in what's possible in modern methods of construction and really, drive things forward and set us apart from our competitors. So we're sitting in our display suite today. Out at our new factory at Lemnos. This was designed to be 60 square metres, so the planning permit exempt rule, not building permit, planning permit exempt. 60 square metres to the millimetre. We used every bit of usable space. It was actually recognised in a few awards this year. It won the state award for HIA, for modern methods of construction. And the design was basically, I wanted to break every stigma that I had heard of in modular. So people say you can't have architectural flair. So we put 5 roof lines on it. Second to that, they say, oh, you can't have bricks. Bricks won't travel. So, well, you can if you engineer it right and you build the diaphragm right. So we've got feature bricks on the back, we've got feature bricks on the front, which were all completed off-site. So the way you see it today, aside from the pendant and the swinging components like the blinds, everything was complete. Another first of its kind was the precast concrete floor. We actually did it, and then we thought, let's polish it and really push the boundaries of what is possible. A building like this is something that can, show people this is what can be done if you've got the budget to do it. But this is stage 1. And stage 1 was all about getting operational for the least amount of cost. So we've got temporary offices, we've got stage 1 of the facility, which is 120 metres, 120.7 metres long, 28.8 metres wide and 16 metres tall to the apex. So the exciting part about that is we've got a 5-stage master plan that has been meticulously designed and carefully thought out over the last 6-7 years. So stage 1, that's here, that's the factory, temporary amenities. Stage 2, we do high-level offices all the way alongside the factory. And this is going to be a bit of a showpiece where if people come for a factory tour, it'll be a glass walkway all the way along that they can tour the facility 6.5 metres off the ground, so they can see everything that's going on. But it means that the station managers can physically oversee their workstation, which will help them to be able to manage what's going on, but it'll also provide actual pressure that, my boss is watching, I need to perform and I need to keep up this 4-day cycle. Stage 3, we have 3 stories of offices out the front. So there's a lift, there'll be a nice, reception area and lobby area, meeting rooms, first aid rooms, board rooms. Stage 4 is the one that I'm most excited about. So once we get our offices and amenities, we can get rid of all the temporary amenities. And this is 6 adjoining warehouses. And these warehouses will be 600 square metres each, and they'll all have gantry cranes within them. And the idea around this is to make it like a trade hub. So the early warehouses that are down near station 1, 2, 3 and 4, they all enable us to take our heavy machinery, so our roll formers and our bandsaws and all the structural steel components into those warehouses, and it will move our main production line to more of an assembly line. So we can do all the sub-assemblies, and then they'll go across the loading bay into the main facility, and that'll become more of an assembly line. So we'll be able to speed up production even more. So that's stage 4. And then stage 5, we're going to extend the factory another 60 metres. So it's 120 metres at the moment, it will go to 180 metres, which will allow us to have more product on the factory floor, larger modules, and just find more speed and more efficiencies within the system and process. So currently we're at 100 modules per annum when we're running at capacity from now. Once we get to stage 5 with an afternoon shift, we can get to 500 modules. And we talk about, pulling every lever to get a roof over Victorians' head. And modern methods of construction can actually make a real dent in the housing crisis with the right people, the right smarts and the right expertise. So we've actually put all this forward as a grant application to Regional Development Victoria. What Modern Methods is doing, what our facility in Shepparton of all places is doing, and what's going to be achieved over the next 5 years as technology and people's perception and understanding of modular really grows. So the modular industry is, it's in its infancy stage in Australia. Commonwealth Bank has been one of the first to really get on board, and I actually sat on a committee to help set up a financing program for modern methods of construction. And I think that's going to unlock a lot of potential clients now they have a finance option, so it'll become more mainstream. We're actually one of 8 accredited manufacturers in all of Australia through the CBA. The decision makers are realising that this is a viable solution, and this is a lever we're going to have to pull to make a difference in the housing crisis. And we feel like we're at the forefront of the curve. We're ready to go. We've built the podium. We've got the factory, and we're ready to capitalise on these early adopters and make sure that we are one of the leaders in this field. So it's very exciting times. So we've set up a multi-million-dollar factory, and to feed that factory and keep feeding the machine, we need a pipeline. You know, we've got SPC, a local company that's been here. I say to people, if you went to SPC and said, I want 1 triangle can, but all their tooling and everything's set up for round cans, and you said, no, I'm dead set, I want that 1 triangle can. They say, it's gonna cost you $1 million, but you can have this round can for 10 cents. Which one are you gonna pick? It's the same principles within manufacturing and industrialised construction. We need a pipeline of work and standardization. They're the things that are really gonna drive forward and help us as manufacturers move forward and make a big difference in a speedy way. So what sets JMB Modular Buildings apart, and me, James Briggs, as the managing director of JMB, I think the problem solving skills and my background coming from being a conventional carpenter into a builder, into a commercial builder, and then now a modular manufacturer. That expertise is one thing that, you know, other entrepreneurs from other, you know, industries try and come in overseas and get into the housing market, but you need to have that foundation in construction. Otherwise, you're just going to scale your problems with you in the manufacturing industry. So we're registered in 4 states, Vic, Tassie, New South Wales and South Australia as a registered builder. I'm a member of the Master Builders Association. We're a member of the HIA, and also we're an active member of Prefab Oz and have a lot of connections through there into the Centre of Excellence and RMIT and the like. We have some key partnerships that we're very proud of and where I've been recognised for my expertise. So we're actually got an MOU in place with Melbourne Polytechnic. So they've got $50 million for their Modern Methods of Construction Centre of Excellence. And we're helping them as a regional trainer to work out the curriculum for Modern Methods of Construction apprenticeship, because currently there is none. We're also working with Melbourne Uni and RMIT in a consultancy sort of way, advising them around different elements of modern methods and net zero. And we're also working with women in the trade. We want to really push the element of it's a safer, more controlled workspace, and we want to encourage women to get into the trade. So I think those partnerships are really exciting and going to offer a whole different avenue and a better culture for employees that want to work here at JMB. So why do all this? Like why make a multi-million-dollar investment and take big risks? And because I believe in change, and I believe in moving the needle, and I believe in innovating, and I believe there's a better way. There's a much smarter way than destroying our bodies and being out on site every day. So when you're considering your next project, consider modern methods of construction, consider volumetric construction, because it's a smarter, de-risked, better way to build. And we have the ways and means. We have the social responsibility to make a dent in the housing crisis. And that's what it's about. We want to get roofs over people's heads. We want to make a better life and give people nice homes to live in. And modern methods can offer that. And we have the ability to do it.